Hey everybody, welcome back to the 157th episode of Taps and Patience. I'm AJ with Audacity Micro and Subtract Manufacturing, here with Jamie of Jspec Engineering.
Good day. Also, I just realized our next episode is going to be episode 69.
Nice.
Yes. It just dawned on me while you were reading the
plans
number.
With Kurt for that?
No, not really. It's just we're busy arranging episode 70 because our every 10th episode is a guest episode. So we're busy arranging the guest for that. So it's just like normally they sneak up on us. We've kind of planned it out a bit better this time.
Yeah, look at you guys with structure.
It makes it so. That was actually a discussion Kurt and I had in the beginning. Was we both really enjoy the Within Tolerance episodes with Zap and Dylan. And it tends to be guest, Zap. And then guest, Zap. And we're like, we kind of enjoy the weekly catch-up more than the guest episode. So that's why it's only 1 in 10 as a guest episode. And then,
I think for me, the guest episodes, there will be like 1 or 2 in a row that I just won't be super interested in. Like there'll be great episodes. They're Within Tolerance episodes. Yeah. They're always great to listen to in the shop. But like every now and then there's a guest that I resonate with more than others. Yes. And sometimes there's guests that I don't know, don't really care too much about.
No, 100%. Like the newest episode I haven't started listening to yet. I was listening to books instead today. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's I get that's the whole point of Within Tolerance. It's a guest podcast. But Kurt and I both thoroughly enjoy the Zap episodes where they're catching up and finding out about his van. And I think that's the vibe Kurt and I have gone for on The Lone Machinists, where it's similar to The Bomb, where it's just catching up what's happened in the week and everyone else can follow along.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously what we did.
Yes.
If you look at the full title, Taps and Patience, on like any of the podcast players, it says Taps and Patience, vertical line, and then it says like Business and Machining Podcast.
Oh,
and that's literally so that if people search for Business of Machining, we show up.
Oh, cunning.
Because we're definitely like a clone of Business of Machining.
But that's the thing. It's you guys are on a different stage of your business than Kurt and I are, and then John and John are. Like I've almost felt like I stopped resonating as much with the Business of Machining. I still listen to it every week. It's part of my routine, and being a train enthusiast, routine is important. I still listen to it every week and I enjoy it, but I feel like it got to the point where it's like, oh, we have a problem, throw money. And that's not the point where I am in my business. So it's a different, that's one of the reasons why I started The Lone Machinist, was so that it was the Lone Machinist, a one-man shop. That's what the aim was, is talk shit, one-man shop to one-man shop. So, like even our guests are generally one-man shops.
Yeah. I wonder if you could map like yours and I's progression as a shop onto the Business of Machining. Are we at like Business of Machining episode 20? Are we at 100?
I think being one-man shops, I think they started the Business of Machining after they had staff, both of them.
It's very possible. So
I think, obviously Grimsmo always had his brother.
Yeah.
And John, when they moved into the shop 10 years ago, the shop that they're currently in, he already had an employee. So it's, okay, you've obviously got the intern, the tall Jacob.
Yep, tall Jacob.
Yeah, so like I've got Samo the Mamo now assembling stuff for me. But like it's not where we're handing off large portions of responsibility of the business. They kind of just do simple tasks. Although Tall Jacob seems to be programming your machines.
Yep, he started. He's not very far along that journey yet. But yeah, he's starting to program. He can do setups by himself.
Oh, nice.
Probably nothing complicated. Like he's still, basically had a grand total of, 30 hours of experience, and it just takes time.
Yeah.
But he's picked it up shockingly quickly.
Okay. Yeah, Carl was actually this morning, my cousin's fiance, he needed to mill something quickly. And then I was like, just put it on the 4th axis on the LK. We had to put flats on a shaft. But just put it on the 4th axis. It's going to be easier. So I started doing it, and he's like, you can do that. I'm like, yeah, sure, run the LK. Like, he was jogging the thing back and forth. I didn't even bother making a program.
Yeah.
So he jogged, and then he's like, that's an interesting feeling having him running my expensive machine, because he's run the Slowio before. He did the Titan building blocks course on the Slowio just to get his mill skills up, because he wanted to program mill at work, but he was stuck on the lathe. So he was like, let it he came and upskilled himself in the evenings here, and then he finished those, and then he ended up getting let go. Well, forcing them to let him go, so that he could go do his own thing, because he didn't believe in the company's long-term viability. And true as nuts, the company closed down. So like he got out in time. But yeah, like the slow-yo is actually going to him in the coming months.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just gonna put it down, like, when you have money, pay me for it. I just need it out right now, because I have plans to put machines in my workshop.
So what is your current shop loadout at the moment?
So currently we've got the slow-yo, we've got the LK. I've got
the slow-yo is a DIY.
It's a Tormach 440, but better in every single way, as in 10 millimeters more travel. It's the mill I built. It's the mill I built to start Jspec engineering. And that was now 8 years ago. This time, 8 years ago, I'd started building the mill. That got me to the point by the beginning of 2024 where I realized, hang on, I need an actual proper mill. Like, I was doing decent work. I was dumping stuff off my phone today and look at some of the things I did on that mill, and it blows me away. I'm like, what the hell? But I then decided I needed an industrial mill, and that escalated very quickly because I didn't have the turnover, and I didn't have the money in the bank to go buy a mill. Like, I couldn't just straight up go buy a mill. So I started out looking at the Samurai, which I know you've mentioned on here before, which I still don't know if he actually sells. That's like a $12,000 mill. By the time you've put a controller and everything, I was like, cool, $12,000, $15,000, I could have a mill. It's pretty much the same travels as a slow-yo, just potentially slightly better built. And I was like, that's always going to be a hobby machine. It's never going to be true industrial. So that then became a $30,000 endeavor of looking at a lead well drill tap center, which got sold out from under me while I was waiting for paperwork to get financing. And I spoke to my brother-in-law during this time, and he was like, if the bank won't give you the money, come speak to me. Like, we'll work something out. And that was when I was looking to spend 400,000 Rand, which was about $25,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that got sold out from under me, and I phoned my friend down at WD Hearn in Cape Town. I'm like, hey, what do you have on the floor? What are you bringing in? I need a machine. And I got the LK, and that ended up being about $48,000. So it escalated very quickly, but definitely got the best of the options. Like, I got the machine secondhand at a killer deal. I ended up paying them. So I phoned him on the Thursday. I'm like, what do you have? I'm looking for a machine. He said, no, he's got this TC710. Turns out I had a picture of the TC710 on the door of my workshop under a thing titled What's Next? Because I wanted to get a drill tap center. Like, I've always wanted one. And that was actually what was under there. So I phoned my friend on Thursday, spoke to him. I'm like, okay, I'll see you on Tuesday. Pick me up at the airport. On Tuesday morning, hopped on a plane, flew down there to look at the machine in person. Gave it a once over. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with this. Sat down with the owner of WD Hearn. And he was like, cool, you bought the Alex Tech lathe from us. I'm like, yes. My Bertha I bought from them. He's like, no. Like, I've got a good couple of years. They know me. And he was like, cool. I'm like, I'm registering for VAT. I need that to be registered before I get the invoice for this machine so I can claim the sales tax back. He's like, no problem. Pay us a deposit. The machine's on your floor next week. You can pay the balance once you've VAT registered. I had the machine on my floor 5 weeks later. I got my registration. I'd been running the thing for 5 weeks, paid them the balance. And yeah, like they really helped me get the machine on the floor as quickly as possible. And currently they're importing the Zoppo SVT 600, which is in all likelihood my next mill.
What is that one?
Another drill tap center. It's a 600 millimeter travel drill tap, so 24-inch travel drill tap center. Because that's all that will fit in my workshop. It's technically it fits. The best kind of fit. So it's going to be a bit tight for a little while, but I've got a customer who he's basically, when I got the LK, I was a little concerned about having enough work to make the payment. And they said to me straight, you pitch up here, you tell us you need milling work, you come fetch milling work. It's between like $5,000 and $15,000 a month of milling work they send out. So I've approached them last month and I was like, listen, let's talk about putting a machine, because they've offered to put a machine, get a premises, put machines, move my machines there and just have me do their work. And I'm like, nah, I'm not commuting. It's not something I want to do. So we now in talks of them effectively buying the LK's capacity from me. So buying the LK, and what's left on the loan for the LK gets shifted to the other machine. And we put down a new machine that all the alley work will go to because it's got a 20K spindle. So then a lot of the surfacing stuff becomes easier. It's also BBT. So yeah, just another machine pretty much on par with this, just newer, because also I'm very much not a fan of having machines older than 10 years in my shop.
Says the retrofit guy.
Okay, that's a different situation. So so what I've seen locally is guys in the 90s did really well. Bought a machine in the 90s, and then while the going was good, they didn't replace the machine. And now they can't compete. So now they don't have the capital or the cash flow to buy another machine to be able to compete. I don't want to be that person. So like the LKs now, this year is 7 years because it's a 2019. By the time I think it's 10, it needs to get out of my shop while it still has value.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to abuse the machine either. It's going to be well looked after until it leaves. But at least then it's still got some residual value. And I'm not going to, because you obviously don't want your machine to start breaking down while you're trying to do work. That's the other thing. Like, it is where the bread and butter comes from. So, yeah, I want to get ahead of that now. But yeah, back to the machines I have in my shop currently. We have the Slowio, the LK, the MCO Turn 220p, which is from 1989, winning, and then the Goodway, which is from 1994. But the Goodway and the MCO were retrofitted by me 2022 and 2025. So the MCO was a 2022 project or 23 project. 23. Sorry, February 23 you started that one. And that was up and running within a month. And then the Goodway also was like a month turnaround. I did all the prep work before the machine ever hit my floor. It hit my floor, and within a month I was running.
Nice.
Yeah. And then obviously there was Bertha in there at some point as well, which has now moved on to another shop where the guy's doing stupidly big work on it.
How big is your shop?
It is a double garage. It is 36 square meters. It's, I think, 480 feet or something.
So not big.
No, not big at all. Not big at all. I took the garage doors off and put sliding doors, like hanger doors, so that I could get... Again, the LK technically would have fitted through the hole that was for the door, but the door was in the way. So I pulled it out, put an I-beam across the front, and have stacking doors in the front of my workshop.
So do you have any plans to go somewhere bigger? Or are you just going to stay sardine canned in there?
I have plans to build a shop in my front yard, which I think ends up being about 800 square feet. So
additional or total?
Additional.
Okay.
And that I'm not even going to, it's going to have a 1 foot slab. I'm not messing around. Like, whatever the hell I want to put in there, if I have the power for it, it's going in. So the other issue, home shop, power supply is an issue. Fortunately, the front of our property has two 100 amp lines of 240 volts. So one comes to the main house, one goes to my mother-in-law's cottage. When the new machine arrives, I'm trenching in 2 cables for the new shop that'll get diverted to the current workshop because I need the other power supply to run the new machine because I've only got 20 kVA or 22 kVA's worth of supply. So I need the second supply, which also limits my options on what machines I can buy in the future, which is a bit of a concern, but I'll work around that. No, it's one of those things with working from home.
So everything you have right now is single phase, or are you on a phase converter?
I've got a phase converter for the LK, and then everything else is single phase. So when I retrofitted the lathes, I retrofitted them to single phase. Fortunately, the Goodway's spindle motor was a 200 volts AC servo, so I just put a VFD on it and ran that as my spindle. Yeah, I tend to retrofit for single phase. It makes it really easy to get rid of the retrofits when you want to, because any guy can just shove it in his garage.
Yeah,
makes it very easy. But yeah, I'll put another phase converter and a separate phase converter for the new machine. So I'll have 2 phase converters that run, and those are set up to auto power down. So both machines, the current one and the new one, will have Siemens has got APOs. So at the end of your program, it actually disconnects the breaker at the back of the machine. So it e-stops itself, then disconnects the breaker, and then Home Assistant looks at that and says, "Oh, the machine it's just switched off now. I've got an auto shutdown function set up that it sees, oh, the machine's been switched off for 5 seconds, and then it switches off the disconnect and the phase converter. So just my compressor is left running now, but that I'll deal with later."
That's cool.
Yeah, like The automation stuff is great. Like I love Home Assistant. I haven't gotten too deep into it. Like my lights, when one of my routers decides to shit the bed, then my lights don't work, which is great. There is provision, and it's on the thing for a physical button that you push the button, the lights change state. I just haven't actually wired up the physical button yet. But I walk into my workshop, it's like enable Iron Man mode, and my lights turn on. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's the small things in life.
If I ever build a shop, I swear I'm just putting a PLC in the wall, like right at the electrical panel. So like it's something industrial grade that can handle all the automation stuff.
That's the way to do it. Like, because why not automate all the things? Like now I need to add my compressors to my Home Assistant. So when I enable Iron Man mode in the morning, I want my compressor to kick on. And once it's at pressure, it can then open the valve through to the air lines. Like I want to automate all those things. It's just, again, not the highest priority in life. Yeah.
No. I'm getting ready to add a shut off to my compressor. So I'll probably have it set up to just like turn itself off at 11 p.m. or something every night, and then I'll turn it on manually when I come in. Like it'll just be the pneumatic valve on the output.
Yes.
So it's not going to turn off any of the electronics, but just close that valve.
So my plan is to I need to put an inline solenoid valve. So what I found is if I turned my compressors on and had it just going to the machines, the regulator on the LK would leak. So I've got a shut-off valve. So I let it come to pressure, then I open the shut-off valve, and then the pressure comes up quickly in the lines, and it's not a problem. Also, like now today, I was surface grinding anchor point pads. I had warmed the machine up, done something for Carl, then I was like, okay, I'm going to come back to the machine now. Instead of having it leak air because it uses a lot of air, I just turn off that shut-off valve, carry on doing my thing. When I want to run the machine again, turn the air back on, clear the alarm, and carry on. So I want to automate those things as well. But again, not the highest priority in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like you're very fortunate with your Tormach having its whole, the Python magic that goes on with the Tormach. You can have it talk very easily to a lot of things. Whereas Siemens, if I want to build my own version of Chatter effectively, there's an add-on that I need for the Siemens controller to have it output the data I want on the network. So I was having a look. It looks like I don't have that module on this machine, and I won't have it on the new machine. So I might just have to buy it because I would like to monitor that. Like, especially now I'm planning on running stuff in the evening with spindle gripping. So I need to be able to monitor what's going on.
Yeah, I get to dig into some of the Tormach Python stuff, hopefully today. Okay. So today is going to be the first day of playing with Mongo and trying to get him integrated with the Tormach.
Nice.
Actually, that's overselling it. Step one is figuring out grippers and stuff.
So, okay, well, I've got much to contribute here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shout out Justin from Justin Gray Labs. I'm sure everyone who listens here knows who Justin is.
Yeah.
He's just, he's released a bootstrapping, a vibe coding thing. I'll ask Jacob to put a link. But basically, you put it into Claude, and it sets up best practices for vibe coding software.
Oh, interesting.
So you pull it in, you load it into your into Claude. Claude reads through it, adds all the skills, and then it starts building in self-tests and refactoring your code and stuff like that. Like, super powerful. It's behind a paywall, but fucking, I think, worth it, especially if you're going to start building bigger and bigger pieces of software. I've currently got something I've vibe coded that will get discussed at some point, and that I integrated that today so that I can keep track and just make sure it doesn't get out of control. Although it's like a single web page, but still.
Is Justin's software behind a paywall, or the Claude that you have to use it with behind a paywall?
Justin's Bootstrap pack is behind a paywall.
Oh,
is mostly that like his just new so he won't get a million people speaking to him.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's to make it that if you're going to use it, it's worth. You're not going to just load it and then just harass them. You're going to load it. You're going to try use it. Like there's an incentive for you to try use it.
Literally the same reason that we charge on the Patreon to get people in our Discord.
100%. Yeah. It's just a barrier to prevent riffraff.
So that's not his new like startup or something.
Well, Justin Gray Labs seems to be. I had a chat to him the other night, but I didn't pry too deeply.
I need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
I spoke to him the other night. Wanted to chat to him about some other stuff and the vibe coding, and then he brought up vibe coding. I'm like, well, speaking of that, I've only just gotten into Claude, like on the 7th. Finally got Claude working and vibe coded a thing in an hour and a half. Like, there's a bunch of things that I have planned now, including a pallet loading system.
Nice.
Yes, my pallet loading system is simplistic compared to what you have planned.
Are you doing like the Aroa style, where it's like basically a 3-axis robot that just plops them down in?
So I was going to do a anchor point on the edge of my machine's travel that is effectively, you can drop a rack of anchor point pallets onto and have the spindle gripper load them in and out of a different anchor point. So I was going to basically vibe code a thing to handle the loading, unloading, and sub-programming. So you could have it that you can either paste your entire sub-program in and it generates one long G-code, or you could have it that it xrefs to externally referenced programs. But that way I could load up, say, 3 or 5 or 6 pallets worth of stuff, hit go inside, it'll load, unload, and handle all of that for me while I eat dinner or sleep.
Yeah.
Because I'm also planning... Yeah.
Which, frankly, I think is the smart way of doing this automation. Like, having a robot arm is cool. Having Mongo is fun. But realistically, if I think the best way of doing automation right now, as long as you don't need thousands and thousands of parts, is just a spindle gripper and some way of swapping parts in and out quickly.
I feel like that. Yeah. So spindle gripper is great. Like, so in my specific case, I have a few anchor points in my machine, namely 6 of them. So I've got the 4 pneumatics. My idea is to put the tray of parts on the 4 pneumatics. And then I've got a mechanical next to it. I'm going to put my pneumatic vase on that. And the idea being I can take that out in the morning, put it on a shelf, do whatever I'm doing during the day, load it back in, swap in the tools I need, hit go, and it runs in the evening. So I can swap it in and out quickly. But I feel like the tray of parts, you're going to run out of parts unless they've got a lot of cycle time. If it's simple stuff, you're going to run out of parts very quickly. So I'm building into what I'm working on, the option to pick from a single place and deposit in a single place. So you could make effectively a magazine of plates that just pushes one forward to the same position, and then you spindle grip from that same position every time.
Yeah.
So that you could have 200 parts stacked. And it doesn't matter. Like, it really makes no difference. Because there's many, many options. I considered building a 3-axis robot in the LK's enclosure that would place a part like on top of my 4th axis, and then the spindle gripper would take it and put it where it needed to be. Yeah. So I'd have like a load unload station. So
yeah,
I've gone down this road a bit.
I was looking at that little like beta anchor point unit I have, and it's about the same size as the end of Mongo's arm. I was seriously considering using that as a gripper exchanger.
So yeah, I mean it's got 150 kilos of holding force. Like the pull stud is held with 150 kilos on a pneumatic. On a mechanical, it's a stupid amount of force.
It's not that heavy. It's not that big.
Yeah. No, exactly. That's an option. It's got a locating pin. I think your one's still got the 10 millimeter off the shelf pin.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But with and not even for a quick change gripper that the robot can do itself. Just going from revision A to revision B of, the gripper or whatever. Yeah.
So Justin was pushing me to spindle grip pallets, anchor point pallets. So I've got some spare pallets. I'm going to machine the cleats into the side of them and then make some jaws for my spindle gripper and give it a try. Like, why not? The only thing you got to watch there is your engagement on the locating pin needs to be 2 millimeters. If it goes in any deeper than that, getting it off becomes a challenge. So I'm going to mess around with it a little bit and see. I mean, I don't really need the ability to do it, but it'll be cool.
Yeah.
The only issue I've got is my gripper doesn't rotate currently. If it rotates, I lose grip because it's a single port. And I didn't want to go the route of designing a rotary gripper, but I might just need to. We'll see.
I kind of wish I hadn't gotten so invested in the Aroa stuff so early on, because loading out enough pallets is it's going to be a significant amount of money to get enough vices and stuff, and to make them for the anchor point is so much cheaper. And I could put a little slot on the side or a dovetail or something to just
a little
easily
cleat
load
on the side to grab. So Dylan from Got Chips, his package arrived today. I made a little Zendai Vice palette for the anchor points. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice, neat little package. But I'm also working on a Mill Your Own Adventure dovetail vase. So Kurt and I were looking at dovetail vases. He thought they were cheap. They are not.
No,
they are very much not. So he's looking to hold like 1/4 inch material. None of them can do that. So I was thinking of making it the body, the jaw, and then I sell it with an end mill. You can bolt the body down, mill the width of dovetail you need, and make it as another product as a Mill Your Own Adventure dovetail vase, because it's not an expensive thing to manufacture. And then you sell it with a cutter. The guys have a cutter firstly to do the dovetails, and they can also modify the body if they need.
Because so he wants to hold a dovetail that's a 1/4 inch wide, not a 1/4 inch tall.
A 1/4 inch wide.
Okay. I was like, that's really tall for a dovetail.
No, 1/4 inch wide and like 0.5 millimeter or 0.75 of a millimeter deep, which is what I've done on copper. I've got a copper job I do where I op-zero all the material with a 0.75 millimeter dovetail, and then I grip it, because if I can grab with that little material, I don't have to go up in size of copper bar. Like all the parts fit in a 16 by 16 bar. I don't want to go to a 20 by 20.
I was given this, and I think it's the smallest 5th axis dovetail vise.
Yeah, but it's still...
No, you couldn't put a 1/4 inch in there.
No, it's. I was looking on their website. The smallest you can clamp is a 1/2 inch.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 1/2 inch to 1 inch vise. We were looking at them yesterday morning. So I want to make it that you can mill the dovetail to be whatever you want. Like, doesn't matter. It can be from a 1 millimeter wide dovetail if you're really brave, all the way up to like a 1/2 inch wide dovetail. So the vise itself would be like 1 inch by 1.5 inches or something. It would be really small. And then the little slidey jaw thing.
And would you do it as like a flexure? Kind of like the flux workholding thingy?
The reason, I was showing Kurt them, I've made one. That's how I do my job. So I machined a block, machined all the dovetails, held it on end, slitting saw it so that it can flex. But if you want to make it that you can clamp a 6 millimeter wide thing or a 4 millimeter wide dovetail, you can't do that, because the cutters that I want to supply are 6 millimeter cutters. So you end up having to use a tiny cutter to do it. So I'm like, no, let's use the standard cutters, and then it'll just be a sliding jaw. Like the jaw only has to move 0.5 millimeter. Mm-hmm. Then you slide the dovetail out. Like it doesn't have to drop in from the top. So I was thinking of doing the whole thing out of 7075, having them anodized, and then you just mill the slots. It's going to be hard enough. If you need to make 1,000 aluminium parts out of 6082 or 6061, it's not going to wear out appreciably. You also don't need to tighten it down like an absolute savage.
People will. But
they will, but we'll put on there max torque, and then if they go over it, then not my problem. Because that was a fun one to figure out on the anchor points, is what the maximum clamping force needed to be. I actually have a load cell and I test every one now. So that's cool. I'm assembling for EJ today. I was grinding the pads this morning, and then part of the assembly procedure is impact driver, because we know someone's going to do it and run the thing in and out up to 1,000 kilogram. Well, no, up to 1,000 pounds of holding force, which is around the spec. I've pushed one of the first one I assembled. I pushed up to 2,000 pounds of hold down force. The pull stud has dings in it. Like, don't run it there. Like, if you tighten that to 20 Newton meters, it's holding with about, I think at that point it's 700-ish pounds of force. It's a significant amount of force. Like all the dumb shit I do with it hanging out of my fourth is all at 20 Newton meters. So it's...
So EJ bought more anchor points?
Yes, for school and for himself.
Oh, nice.
So he's got on his machine, he's going to have 2 mechanicals and 2 pneumatics. So he'll do the op ones where he's heavy roughing in the mechanical, and then the op 2 where it's just surfacing in the pneumatic. And then he's got 4 mechanicals for school for doing the hinges that he's making.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did the blood splatter ones for him that I posted on Instagram this last week. And the other one that's going to go to Kurt. Because he guessed the name right. Because apparently we spent too much time together.
The name of the anchor point? The name of what?
Well, of the anodizing style. I'll post it on the Taps and Patience Discord for the people and let them guess what I've called it. Yeah, it's got a very Jamie appropriate name. So yeah, we're discussing his setup as well because we're discussing putting 4 anchor points on his X5, which technically fits the tool set of slots between 2 of them. And then we're chatting this weekend. I'm like, no, you need 2 is the right number for your machine. But what we'll do is I've got bodies. So we found a small issue with how I was putting the lang holes in. So they were getting done in op 1. But then the final op, I decked the back off. That way, if there's any tolerance stack up or skewness in the stack up, it's parallel now. And the lang holes are not perfectly parallel to the bottom. So when you put the studs in, they sit ever so slightly at an angle and it doesn't go.
Yeah.
So now we machine those in the last op. And I've got, I think, 8 bodies for the pneumatic ones that those are ready to size. So for Kurt's ones, we're discussing we're going to just open those up by 0.2 of a millimeter and they'll match the mechanical. So he can have 2 pneumatics on his table for general day-to-day stuff. If he wants to do something with a bit more force, he can unbolt the front one, bolt on the mechanical one, and it will drop on and repeat pretty much dead nuts. So that'll solve the issue of him if he needs more clamping force. Because I tend to do dumb shit where I've got anchor point, 5-inch chuck, and then another 3-inch stick out on top of that. And then I try and go to town and the thing starts to do some very dumb things. So that's why I run a mechanical in my machine now so that I don't have to worry about that. But yeah.
Are you ever going to beef up your pneumatic ones?
I can't really beef it up without increasing the unclamp pressure. So it's limited by the surface area of the piston.
Could you do like a 2-stage piston in there or something?
That brings its own set of issues because now you've got sealing on both. It becomes complicated.
Yeah, but it'd be really cool.
It would, but I think they've both got their place. Like if you're going to put in, like I use mine. I've got 4 on my table. I drop my vices in. There's no rigidity issues because there's 4 of them pulling it down. Even with 2 of them, I go to town and there's no real issues with pull-out or chatter or anything. When I'm running a single one, it's generally a lighter operation. So it's generally surfacing or it's not like hogging material. And I think if you use it for its intended use case, it works well. The issue you run into with having it 2-staged, you could use the pneumatic so it would fail in the clamp position. I had a seal in the front, but then it was actually air was bypassing the O-ring and building pressure in the front, and then it wouldn't unclamp. So I had to pull the O-ring out of the design. But it would be a case of putting the O-ring in and then just drilling another hole. Yeah. So anyone with a batch 1 could actually convert it.
I have a batch 1. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So like it could be converted on a batch 1. If anyone wants to do that, hit me up. I'll walk you through it. It's not particularly complicated. Like it's put an O-ring in and drill a hole into the side of the anchor point and you're done.
On my batch 1, it's on like a aluminum Saunders plate compatible kind of mount?
That's a Gen 3. That's a V3 version.
That's a Gen 3. Oh, never
or
mind.
Or V3, and then V4 we went to the square one. Would you have one of those as well?
Yes.
I'm just not sure which version you have.
Should I go grab it?
No, it's fine. I'll look at the picture on the phone.
It's right there. I can see it from here.
Favorites. Well, let's see who can get it first. Top quality.
Oh no, which word did it go
in? Okay, it's a batch 3. He said he could get it first. It's a batch 3.
Tall Jacob recently reorganized my work holding stuff as part of our
also known as hiding all your stuff away.
Yes. I think I've answered my question by looking at it.
That's the old one.
Yeah. Is this aluminum base plate integral to the functioning, or is it just sitting on here?
It is where the air is ported through. If you want to, so if you're going to take it apart, you need to make sure there's a pallet on it, or you're going to get hit in the face by a bunch of springs.
Okay.
So if you want to build a new backplate, I'll send you the file. It's got an O-ring groove in it, and that's about it.
I was just thinking if I was going to put on the end of Mongo, that plate would need to come off.
Yeah, no. I'll send you the design for that plate, and then you can just rework it to be much smaller. So
I think if I'm going to that much effort, I'm just going to make a plate that I'll stick directly on the end of Mongo with 2 screws and 2 dowel pins.
Fair enough. That design was initially designed to be made out of 100 diameter or 4-inch diameter aluminium.
Okay.
And then have different base plates. But I realized bolting the base plates on and getting them square was an absolute nightmare. And that was one of the things, like when I assembled that one specifically, your one, and I think Justin got one. There's a couple of them out there. Kurt's got one. When I assembled them and tried to indicate them, it was such a nightmare that I'm like, nope, we're going integrated. It's now going to be square. And
that makes sense.
The square one's so much nicer. And now the square one has Sanders Machine Works dowel pin holes.
Oh, nice.
So it drops on and locates instead of, and then you just use a toe clamps to hold it down. I managed to squeeze that in on the V4.2 version of the body. So like there's constant improvements. Like the batch ones, I used a T-slot cutter for the toe clamp slots on the side. Then I moved to doing that with an end mill in the 4.1 version. And then the 4.2 version has got the Sanders holes in the bottom as well. So it's just been iterative process, which is what you want to see on a product. So I was listening to your last week's podcast with Jacob and I was being very entertained by you guys discussing interfaces between machines and other machines. So we used to build wheel measuring machines. You're going to love the way we interfaced with the conveyors.
I'm guessing 8 pins that you turned on and off in binary.
4 relays.
4 relays.
One to say there's a wheel waiting to come in, one to say there's a wheel waiting to go out, and then the other 2 just had to do with statuses, like that the systems were healthy. Like that was it. And then the wheel would come in. It would either be in a production cell, so we knew what wheel it was, what rim, so we could auto-load the program, or we had, like the conveyor would hand it to us. We would then load it in and identify it with a camera and then load the correct program and measure the wheel. And it would go through like that. And then when we were ready to kick it out, we'd say, hey, conveyor, can we kick it out? And the conveyor would say yes or no. And then we, like literally with a relay. It was super, super basic. But that's because we were integrating a machine into someone else's conveyor system. When we did more complicated stuff with our own conveyors, we got a bit more fancy than that. Then we were monitoring where wheels were and things. Yes. I
have a problem of almost having too capable of equipment. Like the robot could control everything by itself. The Tormach could control everything by itself. And if I wanted to add a third controller in there to orchestrate, that could control everything by itself.
I would lean towards either the third control or the robot. And the reason being, generally speaking, if you're going to be robot loading, you're going to be running the same program, I would hope. It's not
my plan.
Well, okay, in your case, no, but if someone else is adding a robot, if you want to make it that someone else could buy a robot and have somewhere to start from, you would put the controller on the robot so that the robot says, hey, machine, run. If it's a Haas machine, it can push the button or it can have a relay that pushes the button. If it's some old Fanuc machine, you can just burn it. But yeah, you could interface a lot easier by just saying, hey, here's the start signal from the robot. Obviously, there's other checks and balances that need to be in place, but I would lean towards putting the control as much as you can on the robot side. That way, if anyone wants to duplicate what you've got and you're willing to share that, it's an easier jumping off point if they've got like a Sharp machine or some other random brand of machine that isn't a Tormach that has magic of Python in it. The Tormach machines are full of snakes. I'm a little bit envious of that.
Now that I've thought about it for a little bit longer, I think it makes the most sense to keep everything as self-contained as possible.
Yes.
So the machine worries about the machine, and it just gets like a go, no-go signal from the robot. The robot, all it does is, wait for a go signal from the Tormach. And then both of them check to a third-party system to figure out what the go system is telling them.
Yeah, or you would have the robot say, checking if the machine is idle. If the machine's idle, the robot then opens the door and would load a part in. And I would probably hand that all off onto the robot, like clamping and everything to the robot. And then the robot would say, hey, Mr. Tormach, load this program, please. And then say, hey, I'm done loading. Mr. Tormach, please run. And then the Tormach says, hey, friend, I'm running. And then when it's finished, says, Mr. Robot Man, I'm finished. And then the robot takes over, opening the door. Yeah, I would even hand the vase off over to the robot. The only concern there is what is the implications in a power failure situation? Is your spindle still spinning and your robot's letting go of your part? That is the only concern I would have there.
Yeah,
like make sure your failure mode is correct.
I would separate those even more, where I would just have the Tormach, get to a point in the program where it says, okay, load in the next vice. And then the robot loads in the vice and just says, hey, I'm done.
Okay. And then the Tormach knows what the next program to run is. So you're having a master program on the Tormach.
Well, then there's basically a queue system that is run on a third controller. A third computer is saying, this is program 1, 2, 3. It's going to be pallet number 56.
Okay. So in that case, could you not have the queue system say to the Tormach, here's the program, and in the program you're outputting the pallet number, and then the Tormach says to the robot, Mr. Robot Man, load this pallet number because that's the variable that's been put in this. Like you have an M code for loading a pallet, basically, that passes a variable through. And then the robot knows which pallet to grab and load in. That way it's going through the steps. So you've got your queue system telling the Tormach what to do, telling the robot what to do. The robot then says, I've done it. So the Tormach does its thing. When it's finished, it says, hey, robot, unload. It's now empty. The robot says, I'm now empty. And then the Tormach can ask for the next thing in the queue.
Yeah, you absolutely could. My rationale for this is... by keeping them as separate as possible, it lets you build each system separately and test it separately without all three parts being involved. And then also, let's say the Tormach dies and I replace it with a Speedio. There's the least amount of interference to the rest of the system. I'm only replacing that one part instead of trying to redo the logic on two parts.
No, fair. Okay, so then the queue system would tell the robot what pallet needs to be loaded.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you just got to make sure that if halfway through running a part, the queue system says to the robot, hey, load pallet 6, but it's still machining pallet 4. You just have to make sure your interlocks are proper there.
Well, yeah. And that's where we have...
Yeah.
That's where we have a little bit of limited communication between the Tormach and the robot with, like you said, 4 relays.
Just to say it's running or it's not running, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that would be easy to implement on another brand of machine.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, like even now with my spindle gripping setup, putting the new machine in, I'm like, I hope I've got outputs to use. I'm fairly certain I will. I also have access to the PLC on both of them. I can just copy stuff over. But yeah, you want to make it smartly done. So you want to make it smart enough to get the job done, but dumb enough to not be overcomplicated.
Yeah.
It's a bit of it's a fun challenge. And then you've got to also deal with all the edge cases. Because, the thing that terrifies me about automatic pallet loading is shavings on the interfaces. Like, that terrifies me. I still need to figure out how I'm going to address that with auto pallet loading. Auto part loading, I'm not worried. Because it's mostly going to be op ones that I plan on doing.
Yeah, the Aroas have the built-in cleaning air port stuff. And I figure tie that with a washdown cycle.
And you should be good, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I don't know. Yeah. We'll find out. This stuff is easy in theory. It's the reality that makes it hard.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Everything's easy in theory. Reality is a very different situation. So I'm interested to see how it's going to go. I'm quite excited to see this whole thing being integrated. And then with regards to your fork to pick up your pallets, which I think is great, I assume you're planning on putting some inductive sensor on the tip or some way of knowing the pallet is there and is not there.
That is the theory.
Okay.
It's about as far as I've gotten there yet, but...
Yeah, that becomes kind of important to know you've actually picked the pallet up and you've actually placed the pallet. Because assuming it's been done works perfectly right up until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then it falls apart magnificently.
Well, and you kind of get into the You start to get to some design trade-offs of like how complicated do you want to make this stuff. Like it would be very easy to put an inductive sensor in every single shelf position for every single pallet so that it knows, that there's a pallet in pallet spot 2. But is that worth it? Because, if I'm doing 60 pallets, suddenly I have 60 inductive sensors in this thing.
So your I assume as force feedback.
I assume so. I haven't played with that yet.
I would assume if you're going to place a pallet and it rams into something, it can say, whoa, I've rammed something. Yeah. Like that shouldn't be too difficult. And in theory, you could measure the weight of the pallet or of your vase and say, I've definitely picked something up. I definitely still don't have it in my hand when you're loading and unloading. Like, I think you could use the integrated features of the UR to do a lot of that. But also, just having an inductive sensor there is a lot fucking easier.
Yep.
Like, I tend to err on the side of simple solutions, not coded solutions. Mostly because my idea of code is just if.
Yeah. Well, and again, you get into trade-offs. So the inductive sensor, could potentially catch if a pallet is misloaded.
Yes.
Yeah. But like if it's, if you have a pallet in there hanging on your fork at 45 degrees, it would still weigh the same.
Yes.
But then your inductive sensor gets a chip on it, and
so also, not the worst failure mode. If it's like, hey, I've dropped the pallet, but it's still here, let me rather wait than run. Like, not the worst failure mode, because that, like, again, you got to think of all these stupid edge cases where weird shit can happen, and how do you mitigate the issues? Like, I assume you're going to be doing a lot of probing in the machine with this. So I don't have a probe. So I'm going to be spindle gripping stuff and no way of validating it's there. So my plan is, once I pick the part up, I go and I tool break detect it to make sure it's in the gripper, and then I load it. Because then I know I did pick up a part. Same thing when I unload it. Tool break detect that the part is there to know that to assume it's not in the vase. Like, it starts to become a pretty complicated question to do it without a probe. But probes are expensive.
Tool breakage detection is one of the things that I'm worried about on this, because the
Pioneer probe is a Pioneer probe.
Pioneer probe is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I haven't had it get like stuck recently. I had a couple issues with that, but that thing eats batteries.
So Kurt hates his Pioneer probe. Feels like he's just going to buy a TS27R, the wired one, Renishaw one. And then he spoke to a bunch of people like, oh no, those things stick for fuck all. I'm like, I know. Mine literally has a shield over it. Otherwise, it becomes unreliable. And I think it's with all the probes. Like, I would go to a wired one, honestly. They are $150 or $160 off of AliExpress. Buy 2 for when you crash the first one. Like, put it in. It's a 5-way touch off. It's super quick to integrate. And that would be my thing. Go wired. Why go wireless on that?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Going wireless, I kind of feel is pointless with that.
Yeah, Norman did send me a Renishield for it, so that might keep some of the chips and coolant off of it, which might help with its occasional issues. It'll still eat batteries, but
that would be the deal breaker for me at eating batteries. Because then, how often does it eat batteries? Are you now going to start preventatively replacing them in an attempt to not have it error out while you're sleeping?
That would be necessary.
Yeah, like that.
I have switched to rechargeable batteries, which helps the cost. But it'd just be like, okay, every Monday I switch batteries or something like that.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's an unnecessary step.
Yeah.
It's a bit, And I'm assuming you're just going to, how are you gripping your Aroa pallets is the other thing. You're going to just pick them up with a fork.
That's current theory.
Okay, so there's no way of it going in skew or 90 degrees out of phase or anything?
Anything's possible.
Well, yes, anything's possible, but it shouldn't be able to twist if you go with a fork between the little standoff things. So you should be fine. Because I've got the idiot screw on the anchor points to make sure it only goes in one way.
Yeah.
Like even my vase is getting an idiot pin, which is the Delrin pin so I put 4 holes so you can put in either orientation, but I I make it so you can remove it and put it in a different spot. So if I'm breaking down and setting up daily, I don't put it in the wrong way. Because idiots will happen.
The goal for today is to get at least a prototype gripper done.
Okay.
So I think I mentioned this on the podcast. Yeah, fork. The fork is still a gripper.
I would say it's a forker, but okay.
I hardly know her. So I think I mentioned this on the podcast. I have second intern who's helping me with this project.
Yes.
It was a high school kid that I found when I was looking for first intern. He was not the right person to help me with the machining stuff, but I really liked him and wanted to find an excuse to work with him because in a couple years he's going to Purdue. Maybe he'll come back and be a really good employee or something.
Also, having that exposure to all the stuff in high school helps a lot.
Yeah, it'll be good for him. I mean, it's going to be a couple hours a week at most.
Yeah.
So there's not really much cost. And he knows how to design stuff in Fusion. He knows 3D printing at least.
Okay.
So I'm going to have him design that fork and that gripper and 3D print it. And really, it might just end up staying 3D printed.
Yes, because then it's a mechanical fuse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And in that case, put it in an inductive sensor so you know when it breaks.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
The URs are also, not a mechanical fuse, but it's not cobots, a CNC machine that will crush your phone between the vise and the edge of the enclosure. If you weren't going to bring that up, I was going to. Have you seen my new phone? It does it by itself now.
Oh, nice. They're pre-folded.
Pre-folded.
No, that's the thing. The UR, if it hits something hard, it's going to stop because it's a cobot. That's the whole point of the cobot thing. But still, I would say if you're going to put a printed fork, which my grippers on my spindle gripper, the actual jaws are going to be printed. That way they're the mechanical fuse. Just put a way to know if it's broken and dropped a vase on the floor. Because it's going to break when there's a vase with a part, probably a finished part, in it while you're unloading. Let's be realistic here. That's how it works. Then it might be worthwhile having an inductive sensor just for presence detection so that you've actually picked it up. Because I know, now I can't remember his name. One of the guys on Instagram, it'll come to me now. He's got a 52mm 0 point, pneumatic 0 point that he uses. And he picks the pallets up, then pushes it against something in his machine to get it all the way back in the jaws so that he knows where it is. I'm like, there's a lot of clever tricks you can pull using the kinematics of either the machine or the robot to ensure your positioning of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of edge cases. Kurt's worried about your edge cases on this system. We had a long discussion about it yesterday after we recorded.
The nice thing is I'm not in a hurry. I don't need this system running yesterday. I need it in 9 months or something.
That definitely helps.
Yeah, and I'll be able to slowly ease into it.
Although, fairly certain you have a bit of ADHD going on. So
never.
In 8 months and 29 days is when you're going to start working on this.
I know we're working on it today. This is the other reason why intern works well for me is because it forces me to get stuff ready for them.
Yes, no, 100%. I'm the same. Having someone in my shop means I've got to get things ready for them to be able to do. So it forces me into a bit more of actually getting stuff done.
Yeah.
But I've been working on my spindle gripping stuff for how long now? Probably 4 or 5 months. Been building the grippers when I've had a gap, and I don't need it right now. I've quoted a bunch of jobs where I need it. So I've now got a vase on order. The vase will be in 3 weeks or so. And then I'm fully set up. Then I'm probably just going to set up and run a whole bunch of my knives because why not? Put all the op ones on there. Then I have an op 2 pallet and I can stack 20 of them on a pallet because that is my actual main use case for this is either dovetail prep or op 1 because I've got a bunch of drone parts I make where the first op is 3 or 4 minutes. And I've got to make 40 of the thing per batch. So I don't want to stand there and load parts every minute or two. I want to have the robot do it while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
And then it all goes on fixtures anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
I would love to have a product that I can run overnight on this thing. I don't know what it would be yet, but load it up 5 op 1s, 5 op 2s, every night, just hit go.
Yeah, no, that's the dream. Like I've got a bunch of small parts that I quote, and I want to put that onto the spindle gripper because I feel like that's the best way to do it. I don't want to stand there and load those parts. I get my material saw cut, it arrives. If it's within a few millimeters, it'll load into the vise, no problem. And program it as if the material's a little bit bigger. Oh, well, it takes an extra 30 seconds. Who cares? I'm not standing watching it because, like I learned today that machining tool steel is slow as all hell.
Yep.
No, it sucks. I've still got another 3 parts to machine this evening. And the LK is going to just be doing that going forward. So the new machine is going to be the one doing all the alley at 20,000 RPM, which is great. But I want to be able to load stuff in the evening and just have it do its thing. Because that's leveraging time that you wouldn't have otherwise. Like all my lathes are either bar pushed or bar pulled, that I can load a bar and hit go and print money while I do something else.
Yeah. And I think I've shared the story a couple times on the podcast, but the other day I had a repeat part come in. I had it all programmed and everything ready to go. I think it was a single op super glue method part. I got it, the piece of material glued down to the little pallet thingy. Yeah. Waited for it to cure, took off the weight that I had on top of it, hit go. I came into the couch that's right behind my computer there and took a nap for like an hour and a half. And I got back up and the part was done.
Yep.
And I boxed it up, inspected it, boxed it up and shipped it. And it was like, I want to do this more often. This is how machining should be.
I've got some jobs that come around. It's like, it's all programmed. It's out of cheap material. I load it, I hit go, and I had this on Friday. Customer made some blade holders for cutting the strings on mops. It's a blade holder that goes on a motor with a big blade, and the guys feed the string through and it just cuts the string. And somehow they broke 2 of them. So he's like, can you have another 2? I'm like, yeah, sure. I had the material. It took me all of like 40 minutes to machine these 4 components, and they got out the door and I billed for them. It's like, I'm living my best life. That repeat work is where it's at. Even running mag bases now. I make mag bases for Glocks and CZs. Mm-hmm. I order material, like 30 or 40 pieces at a time. I wanted to spindle load these as well. I load them 2 at a time in my self-centering vices. I blast through all the op 1s. It's all programmed. I load the tools into the machine and I hit go. And it's super straightforward to just run those off. Unfortunately, then they need to be anodized.
Yeah.
Which is the worst. But yeah.
I definitely considered also setting up Mongo to anodize, like the Hacksmith system.
So for titanium, sure, but cleanliness is such a thing with anodizing, even with aluminium. It's something I'll battle with.
Did you see the Hacksmith system?
Oh, yes.
Cool. Oh, wait, were they doing titanium, or was that aluminum?
They're doing titanium. No, that's titanium.
Oh, that's true.
That's easy mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, aluminium. I've got it pretty dialed at this point, but it's not my favorite thing to do, but I don't want to scrap another bunch of anchor point bodies because that hurts a lot, a lot. So I now just do that in-house. Like that's one of the things that has to get moved in the near term, like near future, is the anode moves into my office and my office moves into the anode so that I can technically squeeze into my workshop.
Yeah. Speaking of squeezing into workshops, we have a whole bunch of Patreons, and we don't have new show notes because we're recording this at a super weird time. So I'm just going to read the Patreon list from last week. And if it's wrong and we have any new Patreons, I apologize. We will read your name twice next week. So our Patreons include, but are not limited to, Bennett, Black Fox. I thought there was supposed to be more words there. Bennett, Black Fox.
And Toolpath.
And Toolpath. Matt and Modern Fuel, Russell M, Joseph E, Brian B, Jacob S, Chris at CDS Plastics, John S, Alex H, Avery M, Chris B at Puda Creek Precision. Jacob told me how to pronounce that last time, and I feel like I did it wrong. Josh, Elaine Machine, Millen Y, Devin C, Alex at Mill City Roasters, Christian O, Stephen M, Horse Pulverizer Incorporated, Daniel R, James and Moultrie Made, Kyle at Kursk Machine, Devin at Sinister Machine Works, Greg at Fogtown.
That one.
Greg at Frogtown Manufacturing, James N, Bennett Prickly Pear Prototypes, Cam S, Shep at Alderson Prototyping, Jacob at Zona Precision, Jason S, Joshua H, Christian Z, Freaky Climber, Prescott at 1Z, 2Z Systems, Trey V, Alexander B, Scott Designed Everything, Jamie at Jspec Engineering. Hey, he's here. Chris is like Precision, EJ Nocturnal Welding. We're both wearing his shirt. And
yes, we are.
Chris at Thought Bomb Design, and as ever, Jake Brownson.
Nice.
As a reminder, we put an arbitrary deadline at some point of when we are going to move the name reading up to the $15 per month tier, which doesn't exist on Patreon yet. Everybody before then gets grandfathered in. So if you want your name read, you can get it at a discount now. Otherwise, it'll cost you more later.
Yeah, I think our one's a $13 tier to get your name read on our Patreon over at the Lone Machinists. Also, I need to get Jacob to change the thing so that it's not Jspec Engineering, it's Noughtical Workholding.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. I've been meaning to do that for like weeks and I just keep forgetting to ask him.
Jacob.
Yes. Also, it's way more entertaining having you read that live.
Is it?
Oh, you did a lot better than you've done a couple weeks ago.
That's because it's 11 o'clock instead of, a.m. instead of like 11 o'clock p.m.
Fair enough.
I'm way more alert.
Yeah, reading our one is entertaining. Like generally, I've got it pretty dialed at this point, reading the one on our podcast. But yeah, like I assume it'll get longer at some point. The number of crossover Patreons is quite fun.
Yeah.
Like it's most of them.
We're a good little podcast
every
community.
Time we get a new Patreon, you get a new Patreon. I'm not sure which way it's going, but not complaining. But yeah,
I'll still put this out there for the community. If you guys want to start another podcast, Subtract will help you because Subtract wants advertising. So,
oh, nice. Yeah, well, I shout you out every week, and your 39 other companies, I think, this week.
I think that's where. Well, I don't know. I'm a couple episodes behind.
Yeah,
you did do it twice in a row. I'm pretty sure you said the same number twice.
Oh, did I? I thought I hadn't.
I think.
I'm trying to decide when to kill the joke. I reckon we got another 30 or so to go. We'll kill it at 69. One of the things I need to sort out is cameras for IMTS because IMTS videos tend to do very well.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, like your video is sitting at like 200K or something stupid.
Yeah, and it's still making like $30 a month or something. Maybe it's down to $20 a month.
Yeah. But IMTS videos tend to do well because a lot of people can't go to the shows.
Yes.
So they live vicariously through those who go to the shows.
Yep.
We're planning a whole bunch of fun stuff for IMTS this year. One of the evenings, Danica wants to do a bra. So, because barbecue is a flavor of chips.
No one will know what that is around here, but okay.
Yeah, I know. It's a barbecue, but better. So she's organizing to make Bobaverse while we're there because we can't bring it with us. Making biltong the week leading up because you can buy it there, but it's just insanely expensive. So she's planning a whole bunch of things to complicate my life. Also, as usual, I'm pitching up to IMTS with a tag that says dictator on it. My mother-in-law is coming with, and hers says monster-in-law or mother outlaw. We're not sure. We can't remember what we signed her up as. Because again, I mean, our meetup, we're planning on doing a meetup on the Monday because Kurt and I are not there to buy a machine. Let's be realistic. We're not going to buy a machine from a vendor there. We want to see what's new and not be falling behind. And also social butterflying. Going to run around like train enthusiasts looking at all the fancy machines.
You should send Jacob your meetup details, and I will put that in our show notes so we can say that too.
Yeah, I will do. Because, I mean, last time you did yours on the Monday, but I know this year you're planning for Tuesday.
Yep.
Or what we should do is we should combine forces and do ours on Wednesday and try and steal as many people from Within Tolerance as we can.
I don't think we would get many.
No,
I think it would be a much smaller meetup if we did that.
No, it would be tiny. Like the Within Tolerance meetup is really fun as well. Like I enjoyed that.
We could just claim the Within Tolerance meetup as ours and just like we don't need Dylan's permission. We can meet up at the current booth too. And wow, look at all the people who showed up to our meetup.
I like that plan. My thing is we're going to do a Monday meetup that if anyone is feeling a bit self-conscious about being around lots of people, pull into the crowd. As my wife puts it, going between booths, I'm really fast. But then I find a booth I want to talk to someone at, and then it's a 2-hour stop. Yeah, her mom was worried because her mom's going for a NEOP this week or next week. So she's worried about being able to keep up. And Danic's like, no, don't stress. He walks quickly for like 2 booths and then spends an hour there. But it's really fun to see all the what's new. And new and exciting things at these shows.
Yeah. And a reminder for anybody coming, especially if you are not as social of a person, bring parts. Whatever parts you can carry, bring with you. And all machinists will just look at those and start talking. So if you're feeling, if you're like me and more on a socially awkward scale, just bring parts. We all like trains. We will look at them. We will talk about them. Like that's how you get machinists talking. So
100%. Like I'm planning on bringing a good couple hundred knives with me, and giving them away again.
TSA is going to love you.
It's a keyring. What are you talking about? I'll buy the blades in the US, and which was actually a problem last time trying to find blades. We went to Walmart the Saturday before IMTS to try to find blades. And like we were in Chicago with no vehicle. We were using public transport. So it was exciting. This year will be less of a problem because I'm planning to visit you, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Leading up to IMTS. Because I'm going to New York for 2 days. Then I'm like the weekend before. And then my plan is to go all the way to Chicago and then dump my car and use public transport while I'm in Chicago.
Nice.
So I know I'm planning on meeting up with Justin, and then I don't know. Plans will get solidified later on, but that's the plan. My wife's going to Yellowstone for the week with her mom because her mom wanted to see New York and Yellowstone. She was like, "Why don't we just drive?" And Danica's like, "Are you on drugs, lady?" Like, she's a geography teacher and she has no sense of scale. So they're going to fly in the weekend before IMTS, like the Saturday or the Sunday. But it's going to be a proper party.
Jacob's going to be down here at some point before IMTS as well.
The week before. I already spoke to him about this. I'm arranging to visit you with Jacob.
That works out.
No. So Jacob said he's going to be there as well. I'd offered to help with the Toolpath booth with Justin, and then that whole situation happened. Justin? So now I'm going to go just have fun with Justin and then make our way along or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Like nothing's set in stone yet. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, September is a vacation for me. It's 2 weeks for IMTS. And then we leave on the Sunday evening. We fly out. I land back here on the Monday evening / Tuesday. I get in my car and I drive to Plet, which is a 13-hour drive on the Thursday for my brother's wedding. So I've basically got 3 weeks of no work in September.
Yeah. I should check and make sure I don't have a class that week in September.
That would be really awkward.
Yeah, that would be. I'm pretty sure I don't, but...
Danica's teaching now. She teaches Java programming. And when she applied for the job last year, she's like, I'm not working in September. It's not happening. Like, during the interview, she's like, I can't work in September. I'm going to the US, sorry. Which was rather entertaining to listen to the stories of that. Because normally people go like, oh, whatever you want. She's like, nope, can't work then. Sorry. I actually wanted to ask you about your teaching. You said you are teaching physics.
Yep.
What do you mean you're teaching physics? Like to adults or?
To adults.
Okay, like a catch-up class or something to that effect? Or?
So this is the weirdest class I have ever taught.
It's
basically it's part of the GM apprenticeship program.
Okay.
And basically the union just put some like education requirements in their program. And it's like, they need 48 hours of physics. And that is it. That is what I got. They need 48 hours of physics. Okay.
Interesting.
And
are you just covering like fundamentals or?
So my plan has basically been to go as broad as I can. So like instead of going really deep into one thing, we're just going to go as broad and cover as many topics
so basically
at a shallow depth as possible.
Yeah. If they want to learn more, they can learn more. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're not going to teach them to cook meth. I would have just gone with one solid topic.
That'd be chemistry.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Can you tell I didn't do chemistry or physics in high school? I dropped it for computers.
So, and also what I'm going to call physics is basically just turned into like freshman engineering.
Okay.
So the first week we did statics, which is like, calculating the amount of stress in a bridge
in a beam
thingy. And again, we did not go very deep into that, but just kind of gave them the general idea of how to start solving those problems.
Okay.
And then on the last day, we did the classic build a bridge out of straws and see how much it could hold.
Okay. That's always fun.
But like, yeah, these are not, people straight out of high school in this class.
Yeah.
The class that's getting physics is the tool and die class. And they're all like 45 and 50.
Oh, geez. Okay. So you would hope they know some of these things.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't expect someone who's 45 to remember high school physics.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
But it was a lot of fun watching them competitively build these bridges out of straws and Scotch tape.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They got very into it, which made it better.
Yeah, no. They're also tool and die makers. They tend to be a little competitive.
Yeah. Also pretty into trains.
Yeah. Yes, tool and die makers. No, it was interesting when you said you're teaching physics. Like, I know you teach the measuring fundamentals and how to program CNCs and things, and then all of a sudden physics. So I was like, okay, interesting.
The GM likes me, and I did a metrology class for them. Have I done that twice? I think I've done a metrology class for them twice. Okay. And this time around, I'm also teaching a metrology class. And so while I was down there, they were like, hey, do you want to do physics too? So sure, it means it's worth my time being down there.
Yeah.
Because I get a full day instead of a half day.
Yeah, and it's quite a drive.
Yeah. So I'm staying down there 2 nights. I drive down early Tuesday morning, teach, stay in a hotel, teach, stay in a hotel, teach, leave. Okay. I think that was the right amount of hotels.
Yeah.
3 days. Three classes, 2 nights at a hotel.
Okay. It's interesting, the teaching thing. Carl actually just resigned from his role. Didn't resign, just sorry, I'm unavailable for the next few weeks. He does the fundamentals for SAJ, which is the local trade school thing. So he does the tool setting and how to measure and how to hand code stuff on mills and lathes, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know that I would be a good teacher.
I'm done with the Department of Correction stuff. That was it was only $50 an hour.
Only.
Which was it was pretty good money, but I was spending a lot of time driving with that. Yes. And it was just eating my days because I was spending 2.5 hours driving every day. And then, 4 or 5 hours while I'm there. And suddenly that's my whole day, even though it's technically a part-time thing. With these other classes, I get paid significantly better than $50 an hour. And so it is worth my time, and it smooths out cash flow, which machine shop cash flow is not always smooth.
No, that is why I'm literally putting another machine down so that those guys will just level out my cash flow because, tired of driving a roller coaster.
So I will probably be done with teaching early next year, I think.
Okay.
But because right now I'm certainly drowning in the amount of stuff I have to do.
Yeah.
But
then you're going to be
made
focusing
commitments
more
through the end of the year.
Okay. And then you're going to focus more, full-time on Subtract and Audacity.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would even like to see Audacity get kind of passed off to someone else who's doing the actual work.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, that takes time. It's also it's the issue there is it's your name attached to Audacity. And that's where it gets really tricky. I'm currently, I've got a couple guys that are doing work for one of my customers through me. And now my name's attached to their work, which is a little bit terrifying. But they do decent work, so it's not the end of the world. I have one more thing on my page here because we still have questions. Whatever happened to your Prius? I know you mentioned something about it, but
there was something that caused me to sell it off. It had all kinds of issues. It had more problems than not. I got that thing for super cheap.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it off for super cheap. And I think I lost a couple $100 in the swap, but I just got tired of dealing with it.
Okay. So it's one of those.
Yeah. I learned that I actually really liked Priuses. I liked the Prius other than all of the problems that specific one had.
Yeah.
It was a very comfortable car. It drove nicely when it drove. I liked it other than the mechanical issues that one had.
No, sure. The cars are not my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
My Land Rover's clutch went. I got the car 2 months later, the clutch went. That cost me literally half of what I paid for the car.
Yep.
my brother-in-law felt so bad he gave me a discount because he sold me the car. And then it got rear-ended last week while Danica was on the way home from work. So now dealing with insurance for that. It's like, yeah, I hate cars with a passion. Okay. But I want to see if there's any. No more questions. No one likes us.
I had a question from like half an hour ago. How long does it take to drive from like east side to west side of South Africa, or like north to south?
Okay. Now you're making me think. Okay, so I'm in Gauteng, which is the smallest province, but also has the most people. If I drive in any direction for a maximum of like 2 hours, I'm out of Gauteng. If I go south, it's within 30 minutes. I'm out of Gauteng. If I go north, it's about 2 hours. For us to drive from here, I'm trying to think, okay, from here to Durban, which is where I grew up, that's about a 6-hour drive. That's getting us to like the middle of the East Coast, well, upper East Coast. To go from here to Cape Town, which is on the fucking Durban end. How far is Cape Town, love? Hours? 12 hours, allegedly.
Okay.
It's not a huge country. Like, you'll probably drive end to end in about 18 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like the US that takes, 4 days or something to get from coast to coast?
No, the US is huge. Like, for us to go, coast to coast here, probably around 18 hours is all you're going to be on the road for.
Okay.
Yeah, we go from Joburg to Plettenberg Bay is a 13-hour drive. That puts us kind of smack bam in right at the bottom of South Africa, and then Cape Town's like a bit more to the side. But it also depends on the road you take. Like, we took a road that took us directly there, and that was 13 hours. But the road from here to Cape Town, which is further, is short. It's a shorter drive, or it's less time because you can go faster for longer. You're not driving through a bloody mountain. Like, we literally went down a mountain pass that was one car wide with traffic coming towards us on a dirt road on the side of a cliff. It was great. Like, I had so much fun. Like, I like driving dirt roads. So, yeah, South Africa's not particularly huge.
All right. Patreon questions. We don't have as many because we asked at like 9 a.m. my time, EST.
Jacob is phoning it in.
So, and by that he means sleeping because it's like 6 a.m. his time.
Don't make excuses for him. He's known as I was going to be on here for like a week.
And actually, to be fair, we were supposed to do the Subtract like Monday morning stand-up meeting at 10:45, which was 45 minutes ago. So he would have been up for that.
Yeah.
So from Got Chips, pivot contingency plans if things don't go as expected.
I feel like that question needs more context. Does he mean?
I think it's like if your business goes down the tube, what you going to do?
Oh, go become a hooker. No, I tend not to put all my eggs in one basket. So, like, I've got customers in different industries, and generally speaking, one industry dips, another one picks up, and that's always how I've managed to smooth cash flow, like to make ends meet. Like, we've got guys in logistics, we've got guys in competition shooting. There's guys in aerospace that we do stuff for. Like, it's diverse, and I keep it diverse on purpose. Like, I don't want one customer to be eating up 80% of my capacity, because at that point you are asking for shit. Also, I know if I need to go get a job, I can go call on a good many people and be like, "Oi, dickheads, I've killed Jspec. I need a job," and I can get a job. I won't make nearly as much money, but I'll be able to scrape through. No.
Yeah, that's basically always been my theory. Like, let's say something goes terribly, terribly wrong, and I get banned from machining for life. I don't know how you do that, but I did something so badly that happened
that no one wants to talk to you in the community.
Yeah. Like, I can go get a job elsewhere. Like, I have an engineering degree. I've worked as an engineer. I can go be an engineer somewhere, through teaching, through the community and stuff. I know people. Realistically, if Audacity just, leveled out and stopped making money or stopped growing or whatever, and I gave up on that, I could just go teach full time. I got a job offer from a local public school last week to go teach there full time. Like, I can do that.
But that also,
if machining's aside, like, I used to work fast food. Do you know what? I can go manage a fast food restaurant. Like,
yeah. So the thing that always comes back to, even when I was on with Intolerance, the thing that kept harping on was relationships. Like, someone introduced me to someone the other day. I was at I was at a workshop. Like, oh no, like I'm chatting to the guys. Like, oh, do you know this guy? I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know. Go get introduced. Oh no, I know that guy. Like, everyone here knows everyone in the industry. Like, if the shit hits the fan, I can turn around and find a job or find something relatively easily because I've got a good relationship with most people I deal with. There's a few that I don't, and they kind of deserve it. But generally, I try and be nice towards people. And that always comes back tenfold.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day, could I go back to like a corporate job?
No.
I don't think I could.
I
think I would be there for like 3 weeks and then I'd be like selling stuff on Etsy or like mowing people's yards and starting a lawn care business or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, once you've so Carl and Kamish. So the guy I sold Bertha to, my cousin's fiance. They are both freshly self-employed. And they were here this morning at the same time and they were chatting and it's like, yeah, can wait. Like Carl wakes up at 5:30 with his fiance, gets her off to work. She leaves. He goes back, jumps in bed, has a nap, wakes up, sets something up or does something, has another nap. Then 3:00, he goes into the workshop and works till 10:00 at night because then his workshop's not hot and he gets more done.
Yeah.
Like you can work your own hours. It's a slippery slope though, finding your groove because, yeah, like, I mean, I knocked off early to come do a podcast this afternoon. I'm going to go back and carry on milling steel now because I need to get it out. Apparently the skies have opened here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And yeah, with regards to specific jobs, contingency plans, I'm not a fan of ordering one piece of material to make one part. I always like to have spare material for things, which can get very spendy if you're using expensive materials. But you know what else is spendy? Sitting waiting for another piece of material. So, yeah. I tend to err on the side of caution with that. God, it's raining really hard.
From Josh L. For Jamie, how did you gain your skill set for doing retrofits?
Skills. Yeah, that's a bit of a tough one because I built my first CNC in 2009. I was working at Harbor Freight type thing after college on a Friday and on a Saturday, and I managed to squirrel up a bunch of money and buy the bits and pieces I needed to follow an Instructables tutorial to build a CNC machine that ran on Turbo CNC. I had to boot my mom's PC with a stiffy disk into Turbo CNC, and then I went to Mach 3. That actually got me my job where I used to work, having that on my resume. Like, I built a CNC. The guy was like, cool, let me see. So I sent him all the pictures, and that was one of the deciding factors for me getting that job. And then when I worked, we built machines. That I was the lead designer. I designed measuring machines, and then I was also fucking lead of manufacturing. So I would manufacture the bloody things. And then when the electrician was feeling sick, I would do the electricianing things on them. So I had a very, very diverse role where I was working and built a couple CNCs while I was working there as well. And yeah, got into the retrofit game from there. Like, it's not hard once you understand what needs to happen. It's not particularly difficult. Like, I do not fear a machine. It's a mechanical system and an electrical system. They just want the things to be the way they want them to be so it'll work. Like, you just need to figure out what the controller wants to be happy, and then you make it happy and it works. I think we're well into the double digits of retrofits. And currently, I do believe I'm on my last retrofit because it is not worth the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm busy retrofitting a router. It's just the amount of time I'm having to sink into it is not actually worth it. I burnt my fingers a little bit with the pricing on the Masso because I thought it was in Aussie dollars and it was in American dollars. And there's a pretty big fucking difference. So I ended up eating my margins there. The spindle arrives tomorrow, so I can get that job done. We're putting an ATC spindle on this router. I'm busy retrofitting my grinder, but that's for internal use. I'm doing two. One's for me and one's for a customer, but it's for internal use. So I don't really mind retrofitting stuff for my own use. Because when the machine does something stupid, I can fix it. I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
To answer for Jamie, I think you just have to do it. Like,
yeah,
you do it the first time and you figure out a whole bunch of stuff.
You figure out what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and by no means am I an expert at like Linux CNC retrofits. I know how to do what I know how to do, but I tried to integrate EtherCAT and gave up after about 40 minutes. Because I'm like, no, this is above my pay grade, making these XML files. It is not something I am a fay with. Let me go back to what I know so I can get the job done. But as you learn, you get better at these things, and you figure it out, because documentation on the Linux CNC side is super lackluster. And so is Masso. You would think that the documentation looks great. It really isn't. No, I was having a homing issue. That's all I get. Homing sequence error. The fuck does that mean? Oh, I needed to have the tool setter connected properly and enabled, because a tool touches the tool off when it homes. I'm like, how the fuck am I meant to know that? Like, it's not actually in their documentation. So, yeah, you're going to have to read the manual. Let's put it that way. Just do it and read the manual and be ready to spend money because you chose the wrong equipment.
I think for a lot of these kind of things, one of the core skills is being able to break the problem up into chunks.
Yes.
And then solve them one at a time. So, like, it's exactly the same for getting Mongo to load the Tormach. Like, that is a fairly difficult challenge. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, but each individual step is a pretty small little chunk. And you just have to knock out enough, afternoon-sized chunks that eventually you've created a whole system.
Well, that's the old saying of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Like, that is exactly it. I mean, when I bought the servos for the good way, I bought EtherCAT servos, the manual was incomplete. So, in theory, they could run on step and direction. Not the manual, what was in the manual and the drive, not the same. I managed to brute force, by changing parameters, figure out what I needed to change to make it work. I was fully prepared to just buy another set of servos, put these in a box and deal with them later. But I managed to brute force it and it works. And that's it. You pick a problem and you get that problem solved, and then you discover the next problem and you solve that problem. And as you go, these things become easier and easier. Because didn't Josh just get a 1500?
He just got his 1500, yeah.
Yeah. He was going to get a SAL.
Yes, Justin style.
Justin style. And then, I spoke to Justin about this like yesterday. So if you want to do retrofits, if you get stuck or you want advice, just reach out. I'm happy to chat about it. I'm pretty much always on the Discord. Like, if I'm awake, I'm on the Discord. So, like, if anyone wants to reach out and ask questions, please do. Like, I don't mind taking the time out of my day to talk to people. Usually I'm still working. Like, I've got my aircraft carrier headphones on and I'm going with the planes. But happy to talk to anyone on the Discord. Like, I enjoy the Friday night hangouts are like one of my favorite things. It's also, that is when I do all my CAD work. Because I'm stuck behind the computer. So I schedule all my CAD work for Friday night. And then I power through it and usually share my screen if I can of what I'm up to.
Dude, when we did the call about Mongo the other day and relays and stuff, I was so tired. I don't know if you realize that, but I was like falling asleep and trying to stay awake. So I apologize for not being particularly
don't stress.
Chatty on that.
I'm trying to remember when that was. I feel like it was in the evening.
I don't even remember.
Like, it was late. I think you messaged me, and then I was like, I think I was in bed, and I'm like, no, let me go quickly chat to AJ. And I ran upstairs quickly. Like, I think I'd shut down for the day already. Like I said, happy to chat if anyone's got questions. Like, I know enough to be dangerous, and I'm happy to be dangerous. Like, my troubleshooting method is poke with stick and see what happens. Yep. Like, that was one of the things that really annoyed me in industry with electricians, where they didn't want to do anything. They wanted the drawing. I'm like, dude, there is no drawing. I wired this machine. Figure it the fuck out. She has a multimeter.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. It really isn't flipping hard. So, yeah. Speaking of those relays, did you get relays in? I think I saw on
No, I haven't bought anything yet.
Haven't you bought any yet? Okay.
Nope. I have a bunch of stuff in my Amazon cart, but I haven't.
Do you watch Rotary SMP?
No, I don't.
Dude. Okay. Anyone looking for retrofit stuff? If you've got about 6 years, you can go watch his videos. He started his retrofit of his Shablin lathe when I started the retrofit of my MCO. My MCO has been running production for 3 years. He has just finished his tool changer. Very interesting though. Like, he's not an electrician, so his troubleshooting is very interesting to watch. How he goes about it very methodically. Yeah. And this week's episode, he took out some relays. So he was using the Mesa card to switch a relay to switch the contactor. And he took that relay out and was switching the contactor and blew up some of his outputs. So like we were chatting, I'm like, put a relay, because it can act as a fuse. If something goes horribly wrong, you're gonna burn the contacts on the relay. That's a cheap fix. Replacing an RC on your on your robot is going to be a shit show. So rather spend a couple dollars and have the relay, because as Sanders put it, there's two kinds of people: those who use fuses and those who will use fuses. But I'm very keen to see your robot doing dances and things.
There's a video that's being edited right now that is basically just like 45 minutes of AJ playing with his new robot.
Oh, nice.
And I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like, normally I try to kind of have some structure to my videos where it's like, here's the problem, and now we're going to solve the problem. This is just like AJ poking things.
Well, Kurt and I have been chatting about videos, and it's like, your video doesn't have to be great. Your audio's got to be good, otherwise people don't watch. That's basically
my whole plan.
You've got to have a story. You've got to be telling a story. Yeah. If you can tell it, if you're good at telling stories, your video will get watched. If there's no story to it, people aren't going to watch it. And your videos generally tell a pretty good story. Over the last 2 years, it's of how you've had a Tormach, but generally there's a story to the video.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy your videos. That's the gist of it.
Oh, I'm glad.
I find it quite entertaining that I now chat to you on a regular basis, and Kurt, people whose videos I've watched for years.
I had a weird moment the other day. So the first class I'm teaching, the metrology one, one of my students walks in and goes, "Hey, I know you from YouTube." Like, oh, great. This is weird.
Yeah. That's fucking, that would be a little weird. I keep sending Kurt clips from his old videos because I looked something up on his channel, and then YouTube's just been serving me as older content. So every now and again, I'll just send him a picture, like a screenshot of him from like 5 or 6 years ago.
I have looked things up on YouTube and then found my own video where I explain how to do it.
Nice. Yeah. I've got a video on how to get Linux CNC to auto login and how to set up your HAL file that I must have referenced like 7 or 8 times already. Like, it's there for my own use. If someone else gets use out of it, bonus. Because again, the documentation there, unless you're a programmer and you understand what's going on, there's nothing. You got to brute force it, and I brute forced it, and then made a video explaining how I brute forced it, still running off a parallel port, because Bertha ran on a parallel port for the first 2 years of her life, and it worked flawlessly. I threaded thousands of parts, reading encoder pulses in through a parallel port, which in my mind is just insane.
Okay, so changing topics here before we get a little too long-winded. So you started reading Bobaverse?
Yes, I did, because I finished Project Helm. 1 moment.
For context here, the Bobaverse books are, I think, my favorite book series.
There's problem I have is all the characters. I like better. All the characters sound like the same characters from Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, because they're all R.C. Bray.
Yeah. I'm on book 3 currently. How far am I on book 3? I'm enjoying it. It's just like, I'm listening to it while I work. So keeping track of all the storylines is a little bit cumbersome, but I'm managing to keep track of what's going on. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's really cool.
Yeah. Bobaverse is one of those series that I listen to like once a year or so.
Yeah, it's not long either.
No, they're
like
not.
9-hour books.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And then I think, the next one's what? Dungeon Crawling Carl or something?
Yep, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And that's where the name Mongo comes from.
So that's been recommended a few times. So I think that's going to be the next on the queue when I'm done with this. Because I've finished the Expanse books. Yep. I had thoughts about the ending. I was whelmed by the ending. Not under, not over, just whelmed. Like, where it went wasn't unexpected. Like, how it all wrapped up, it's on brand. It's just I was hoping for more.
Have you read the other books by James S.A. Corey or whatever his name is?
No.
Neither have I. I've heard those are also whelming. Not overwhelming, not underwhelming, just whelming. Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Expanse TV show. That's why I wanted to read the books. Because I wanted to know where the storyline went. Because at the end of season 5 or 6, when they ended it, I was like, they left a few things up in the air. So I wanted to see where it went. But I enjoyed the books. I enjoyed it right to the end. It's just, could have been a little bit more. Project Hail Mary, I speed ran through the week before the movie came out, 3 days. Picked up a bunch of stuff I didn't pick up on the first 2 listens. because I listened to it, then I listened to it a week later again, and then it must have been about 7 months or so. And then I listened to it again and like picked up a whole lot of story beats. Like Jacob and I were chatting about it. He's like, was Dubois black in the book? I'm like, yes. It's like one of his defining characteristics when they describe him. Also, in my mind, Strauss was the lady from Suicide Squad. In my mind, she's the black lady who runs the Suicide Squad. That's the picture I had in my mind until the trailers for the movie came out.
They pretty much nailed what I had in my head for her.
I think the reason I had that in my mind, I didn't pay attention when they described her. Like when I listened the third time, I paid a bit more attention when they were describing characters. And then, that's exactly what they described. I didn't listen to that I didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
So then it just, she had that kind of vibe. So that's in my mind what she looked like. It's kind of interesting to compare what's in your mind to the movie. But that movie, they did a pretty damn good job of adapting it.
Yep. I think the changes they made were necessary and tasteful.
Yes. So the way Jacob described it to me is the book is about saving Earth. The movie is about Rylan and Rocky's friendship. Mm-hmm. And when you look at it through that lens, they're both perfect. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to come out on digital so that I can watch it again. I'm not going to go pay to watch it again. I paid to watch it twice in one day. I literally went and watched it at the 11 o'clock showing, the first showing it came out. And then I went that evening with Danica to go watch it. And I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
I think the only valid there's two valid criticisms of the Project Hail Mary movie.
Yeah.
One, when he loaded the test tubes into the centrifuge, he did not balance them.
No, that took me out of the movie both times I saw it. Like, I don't do biology, but I know that is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is I don't think they made Rocky look smart enough and as
capable, as
integral to getting the problem solved.
Yes. Especially with the breeding of the Talmiba stuff. Like that getting cut very short annoyed me. The one other thing that really annoyed me about the movie, there are no CNC machines in the movie. And in the book, it goes into great detail about there's a whole machine shop and he machines molds. I'm like, I want to see this. And they cut all that shit. But the Talmiba breeding being so quick really annoyed me because it's now that last reveal in the book of, oh shit, the Talmiba's gotten out and start like, I caught it and I put it in a Tupperware. Oh wait, Rocky's thing's all Xenonite. Like that was a huge reveal an hour from the end of the book. Like I remember getting to that the first time and I'm like, but there's an hour left. No, there's only an hour left. How are they going to resolve this? And it was a huge thing. Whereas in the movie, I think they speed ran it.
Yeah, which they had to because it was already a long movie. But
it is. Yeah, I was sitting in the movie the first time I watched it, and I was like, "Let me check the time." I checked the time. I'm like, we're an hour and a half, coming up on 2 hours into the movie. There's only a 2.5 hour long movie. We're not halfway through the book yet. I'm like, they're going to have to speed run the Talmiba stuff, and they ended up speed running it. But all in all, it was a good movie. Like that's my main criticism is the speed running of the second half.
Yep.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And once again, proving that Ryan Gosling has chemistry with a rock and a stone. Because I was more made to watch such crazy, stupid love or something with Danica the week after because it's a Ryan Gosling movie and reasons. It's also very funny. Not as funny as Rocky rolling through the boring room. Like that is one of my favorite lines. Like this room boring, and just rolls through the TV room. It's so good.
Because TVs.
They really did a good job, and the fact that most of it was practical is just even better. And what wasn't practical was CGI based on the puppeteers puppeting a puppet so they could use it as reference. Like they did a really good job of keeping it consistent through the whole movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It's too bad we'll never get a Bobaverse movie or TV show.
It would be a very interesting adaptation because, you wouldn't need that many actors.
There was not a statement, but I read a thing from the author that was like in a different article that he was like, we've talked about making Bobaverse a TV show or a movie. The problem is we absolutely screwed ourselves with copyright.
Yeah,
because
100%.
there's
Raka.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the Simpsons
Oh, yeah,
one's
Homer,
name?
yeah.
Homer, yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna go with Bart. And it would be worse than doing Ready Player One
Yes.
in terms of copyright, because there were so many different properties that.
Dude, the naming there is brilliant. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Every time there's a new one, there's the new names they come up with. It's freaking brilliant. But yeah, I'm also curious to see where that story is going to go over the next couple books, because you've got the others, you've got the can't remember the name now. No, there's a couple storylines going on.
Yeah,
that are very interesting. All the storylines and all the problems they run into.
Yeah, I wonder when the next one of those is coming out.
Oh, is he still writing more?
I believe so.
Oh, cool. Because I think I've got 4 on my phone. I'm not actually sure.
The 5th one came out not too long ago.
Okay, then I probably don't have that one yet. I'll have to just acquire that one. Ah, damn it. This thing, if you press back, it goes out of the app. I actually paid for the app so that I could see how long was left on multi-chapter books.
So you're not using Audible?
No, I'm not.
I've
got up to book 4.
There is a program called Libation that will take Audible books, it'll take your Audible account and download all of the audiobooks and then strip the DRM out.
Yeah. So I've got a few gigs of audiobooks that got sent to me that are on one of
Jacob?
No, not by Jacob.
Okay.
Someone else. They shared a link to their drive. I pulled it down and said, okay, I'm done. And they put the link away. I got 50 gigs of books.
Okay. Well, we might have a similar link and a Audible streaming service being hosted by that server there.
Fancy.
So.
Yeah. So
I have 500 Audible books, but I've purchased all of them.
Yeah. No. So have you listened to the rest of Andy Weir's stuff?
Yes. I think I've listened to everything.
Artemis and The Martian. There's only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to listen to Artemis again. I did enjoy it, except for the first about 30 seconds. And then I realized, the character's actually written like this. And then I
don't remember Artemis very well.
It's more of a crime thriller type book. Sciencey type crime thriller, not very deep in the science. It's Kurt described to me as you've got Artemis, which is just dipping your toe in the science. Then you've got The Martian, which is okay, cool. There's quite a bit of science. And then you've got Project Hail Mary, which is just full fucking frontal science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I enjoy all 3 of those. I did hear of a book this week. My wife was talking to one of the people at Quiz Night about Triceratops and bottoms.
Nope, haven't heard that one.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she reads girl books. Girl books have got some retarded things in them. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm on a group with her and her 2 friends, and some of the book recommendations that come across there are just insane. Our stuff's clean. Ours is just science. And sci-fi, theirs is deranged.
Yeah. Dungeon Crawler Carl is not a book to read with your kids, but not in that way. Okay. For the most part.
Yeah. What is Dungeon Crawler Carl roughly about?
So Dungeon Crawler Carl, and this is not a spoiler, even though this is a big event because it happens in the first 2 pages. But basically, aliens come and turn the whole Earth into basically a game show. And the characters are surviving the game show. Okay,
so it's sci-fi, but with a D&D spin to it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm not the biggest D&D fan, but I will give it a bash.
It's not going to beat you over the head with that.
Okay, cool, because that gets a bit old a bit quickly.
Yeah.
We played D&D once, I was sleeping because I had to wait for a bunch of people to roll initiative and it was killing me.
No, this is a very fun, fast-paced, funny kind of book.
Okay, cool. That's the kind of book I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Have you ever read the Hyperion books?
No.
They are the opposite. Well, okay, they're not the opposite of fun, fast-paced books, but they're more in the camp of a Lord of the Rings, less than fantasy, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Okay. It's sci-fi. It's in the fantasy side of sci-fi.
Okay.
But it's much more deeper thoughts and bigger ideas. And
okay. So a bit deeper. Because so when I started talking on the podcast about listening to books, up until that point, I'd listened to one of the Game of Thrones books. I'd listened to the Emeth Revisited like 4 times, and I'd read Seven Eves. I had it on my tablet, and I read it when I was flying, because I was traveling a lot for work. That is it. Oh, and Who Moved My Cheese? Up until that point, like I'm fairly new to the audiobook and the reading a lot thing.
Okay.
Generally, I used to fill my time with YouTube, but now YouTube's kind of not what it used to be.
Yep.
Like, not at all. And everything's a 40-minute video, which is frustrating as hell.
I actually like those, but yeah.
They're fine if you want to kill 40 minutes, but if you want to watch something for 10 minutes quickly, there's nothing left. Like, no one puts out short videos anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're not incentivized to. But yeah, like, I'm kind of new to the whole reading lots of sci-fi books things. I used to watch a lot of series. I thoroughly enjoy my sci-fi series. Well,
really maybe don't go straight to Hyperion then.
Okay, work up to
Red Rising. Red Rising's really good.
I don't want to read it just to spite Danica's friend, because she recommended it like 4 years ago. But I know you've recommended it to me before, and she reckons it's also a really good series. So we tried to listen to it while driving to Durban once, but I was driving, and it's like, I can't actually focus on this.
Oh, that's funny. That's when I do best at focusing on audiobooks.
No, you clearly have never driven in South Africa.
I have not. I was very young when I was there.
Yeah, you always need to be aware of everything on the road, because crazy shit happens here on a regular basis. So, I tend not to, like, Danica was trying to force me to start listening to it, and I was like, no, I can't. I'm not comprehending anything. And that's the thing, like, if I'm not paying proper attention, I don't comprehend. Like, even now, I've got to do my firearm competency. I have put it off for like 4 months at this point, because I need to sit down for 2 or 3 hours and actually just comprehend what I'm reading. And if I'm tired, I don't comprehend. And I know this about myself, so then I make sure I don't put myself in those situations.
And to be fair, the Red Rising stuff is more at the scale of like a Game of Thrones. There's kind of like some political intrigue, and there's a lot more going on, and you have to like understand the caste system they have, imagined for this.
No, that's the thing. You've got to actually pay attention to it and get into the story. Otherwise, it's not a fast. It's not a quick and easy listen. You actually have to pay attention and understand the world.
Yeah.
There's a couple shows like that as well, where you can just watch an episode, but you miss half the shit that's going on in the background, because there's all the different storylines running concurrently. Like back when TV was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about Red Rising is like the first book, they're like fighting with swords and shields and bows and arrows. And I'm not going to explain why this happens, but they like slowly progress and everything escalates to the last book. They're like full out mech fights, like high tech, big building sized mechs. And like kind of every book has its own flavor of combat. And there's a lot of that in that book.
Yeah, so. I think I've got all the Red Risings. I must have a look. But yeah, I don't have that much longer to go on the Bobaverse stuff. Like I'm almost done. Yeah, I'm halfway through it. Because again, it's only a 9-hour book. That's like 2 days of listening if I'm listening to podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Because generally speaking, I have a podcast routine as well.
There is that same author also has some other books. He has one that's called like not Out Earth. Other Earth, something like that.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay, I'll check them out. Oh, okay.
Other Side, something like that.
Other something. What is the author's name? Dennis E. Taylor.
Yes. I didn't remember.
You need to play the Googling on a podcast thing.
Oh, I can do that.
Yes.
That's so loud on my side.
It's also loud on my side. So he's got the Bobaverse. He's got... that's also... All These Worlds, I think that's part of the Bobaverse.
That's a Bobaverse book.
Yeah. There's Outland.
Outland, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. There's 2 books in that series so far, and I think he's working on a 3rd.
Okay, cool. I enjoy his writing style. Like some of the stuff in the Bobaverse is hilarious.
Yeah.
I've just got to the point where they've first human has been scanned into the verse.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then all the drama that's involved there, which is also entertaining. Like it's all all the shit that you would expect there to be with that kind of thing.
Well, we could probably keep talking about books for a while, but shall we do the outro thing?
But let's do the outro thing.
Do you want to do the outro thing? You were bragging about how you play it by ear now.
Well, I'll do my outro on your show.
Just do your outro. That's fine. Nobody's still listening at this point.
Everyone's still listening because it's an awesome podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider subscribing, liking, and all those things. If you've seen our face, it's probably been on all the things because Jacob does a proper job. If you didn't enjoy the podcast, share it anyway. We enjoy rage watches. Or at least I do. I don't know if AJ does. But yeah, like, comment, and do all the things. And I assume AJ will see you next week. And if you want to see me, well, my episode comes out before his next week. Unless you're on early access. There we go.
Do you want to give the name of your podcast or anything?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good plan. Yeah, you can find me and Kurt over at the Lone Machinists. Good plan. And you can find me at Jspec_engineering on Instagram to follow the day-to-day happenings of the Jspec shop.
Jacob will link all the things.
Yes, Jacob, do the thing.
Does he edit it out when I say Jacob, or does he leave those in?
Most of the time. He didn't. Last week's episode, he said, if you're still listening, comment, you said, if you're still listening, comment Jacob. So I did. And then he commented Jamie. So I'm like, well, now I've got to be on the next episode.
It worked. He summoned you.
He summoned me. Sweet.
I think I was supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
yeah,
Jacob
probably
actually edits out our music and then edits his own in anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's special.
All right, see you later.
Sweet.
I decided after the last episode we recorded with Jacob that I'm killing the average Jacob joke. So we would just have tall Jacob and Jacob. And short Jacob. We no longer refer to average Jacob as average Jacob.
It's amazing how these jokes get just become part of the podcast culture. It's quite entertaining.
I've still never seen Jacob in person. He could be tall.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's kind of the energy I got from him too.
I don't think he's going to like that we say he's got short man energy, but whatever. If I get punched at IMTS from him, it is what it is.
I am confident that tall Jacob is taller because tall Jacob is huge.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to run into the other room and grab something really quick because I'm curious.
I'm going to sing. I'm going to do Kurt's role here. I'm actually curious to see if Jacob edits this out. Let's summon him. Jacob.
He does the trick.
I assume he actually edits your podcast.
I think so.
Okay, so I can shout deranged shit and he'll cut it out. Or he probably won't, just for shits and giggles. Oh, yes. Need to harass. I have so many things to harass you about today. I listened to your podcast this morning just so that I could remember all the things I want to harass you about.